That allows you to really outreach to the clinicians and also outreach upwards to the C-suite. You're getting uncomfortable, but to get uncomfortable is to help unwind things, to get really comfortable and build that trust. Those three have really become where all the kind of magic happens at the health system level. They're going to look at you as someone they can trust for every possibility to work with you.
On this week's Tuesday Talks with Toomey, Dan discusses the importance of patient-centric partnerships, building trust with transparency and open communication, the future of healthcare contracting, and earning a seat at the C-suite table. So sit back or jump on the treadmill and get ready to learn how to win contracts or maximize the ones you've got.
So yeah, I think every manufacturer, Dan, would want to think of themselves as an industry partner for a health system or a hospital. But what does that really mean?
Yeah, I think you got to ask yourself, what kind of a partner do you want to be, and where are you? Like, be honest with yourself today of how it is, right? So are you transactional? Are you a strategic supplier? Are you what we call an industry partner, or more of a collaborative executive level? And if the industry itself has defined it as what these are, right? This is feedback from health systems, from IDNs, and then AVAP, which is the Association of Healthcare Value Analysis Professionals. They've actually defined what a true industry partner is. Right? And that industry partner is defined as entities that engage in broader collaborative relationships with healthcare institutions, often encompassing research, training, technology integration, and patient care, right? And most important being patient care.
And so what does that mean, practically speaking, for a sales organization?
Absolutely. If you think about it, if you think about it transactional, right? You're going in, you're doing your day-to-day sales, you're really focused on that number. You're focused on, I got some samples, I come in as needed. Even from a hospital standpoint, maybe that's an inside sales rep or a catalog company. Something just kind of happens routinely, right? You kind of as needed. When you're a strategic supplier, you're offering more around education. Maybe you're customizing education inside the hospital, right? Creating QR codes, creating videos. You've got a little more engagement within materials management. You've got more relationships clinically, but you probably are bringing in at that VP level too, from your organization as well as that healthcare organization. So you're starting to think about how you implant and work together. But when you're truly industry partner, that's when you're fully engaged with that health system around their needs, right? What is it their outcomes are going to be? You're listening to what they need for patient care. You're listening to what they need, not just in savings, but for outcomes, right? So improving patient outcomes that ultimately downstream have savings. And you're also integrated with value analysis. You're integrated with materials management. You're integrated with the C-suite to a level, right? You've got buy-in from them as well, because then you're offering more services than just transactional sales and product or service.
How does a health system view these relationships? What are they prioritizing?
Good question. Every health system's different, right? You hear it all the time. If you call them one IDN, you call them one IDN. And that's still true even in here, because you have to understand where their relationships are for their distributors, where they are, relationship with other vendors, who's the incumbent. And if you already are the incumbent, then how did you get there, right? And it's because you've been working with them over a time period and you've built this system around them with your company. If you're not the incumbent, then how are you working with them to earn their trust? And the way they view this really is coming down to is how engaged are you, right? Are you willing to offer them other services like a back order supply, right? I mean, think about that up front. If your product were to go on back order, what are you doing to help them in the outcome, right? You're not just saying, sorry, I can't get this to you, but you're being upfront, you're being honest about it, and you're actually going out and looking at other suppliers that might be able to fill the gap, or distributor that has that, or even if it's just getting samples in the door right away that you have from your car stock, right? But those are things you're going above and beyond to get product to them to make sure that the surgeries or the procedures and all can keep happening.
What other types of relationships are there?
Yeah, so we talked about that, right? So I think most fall in that strategic supplier where they're helping out as much as they can, but they don't have a lot of engagement from the higher ups at their own organization or at the hospital level. When you're a strategic partner, you're really starting to bring everybody in, and it's multiple departments, right? So you are now you're a resource to that health system. I think that the top one is the executive collaboration. This is where you have the absolute buy-in from both high-level C-suites, but you're bringing your CEO or your CMO or your CCO in with you, and you're talking about true collaboration within the hospital and contracting, and you're also looking at sharing more sensitive information than you're used to, right? You're getting uncomfortable, but to get uncomfortable is to help unwind things to get really comfortable and build that trust. So you start sharing things like potentially margins, overhead costs, especially with time changes, with tax changes and tariff changes. How's that going to impact, maybe contracts that you have in place? But you're also willing to talk more about what your manufacturing footprint may look like and guarantees, right? Guarantees around inventory levels and stockpiling or consignment, whatever that may be. But you've got buy-in from everybody at that level. And when you get to that level with somebody, you're having a different level of engagement than any other partner out there is, right? Your C-suite is bought into this customer is truly going to be someone we're investing in, and then they're going to look at you as someone they can trust for every possibility to work with you.
Yeah, and so how would a manufacturer get to that place of getting invited in to talk to that C-suite level?
Yeah, good question. It takes time. Yeah, there's no doubt, right? I mean, you're working with the contracting team, you're working with the VP of contracting, but you're also getting in heavy with supply chain. And you've potentially brought in your own supply chain team, right? So you're starting to build a foundation over steps with these facilities, right? Because you're not just doing it yourself, right? You're bringing everybody in with you from your organization. And when that comes together and you have a true value add to bring, or it's whether it's savings, whether it's patient safety outcomes, whether it's you can put clinical studies to what the results would be from your product or your service. Then when you can build that in together, right, you can have that financial conversation and have more people involved even from multiple departments. Then you're bringing in the C-suite level for buying, because you've got all those people on your side saying this is a service we really need to investigate in.
Yeah.
Invest in.
What's the key to strengthening the partnership or climbing up the ladder from transactional to strategic to industry partner, et cetera?
Yeah, I think number one is that you're showing that you're patient-centered, right? You're thinking about the patient first. And then secondly, you're also thinking about how that the health system needs to work, right? You're not taking in every consideration of what you do as a salesperson, but you're looking at it as how does your product or service truly meet a need at the clinical level? And you've embraced that, and you're working with them, and you're communicating at them, and you're communicating with all departments within those hospitals. But you're being very engaged with the contracting team and the value analysis team and the supply chain team. Those three have really become where all the kind of magic happens at the health system level. And they have total engagement with supply chain, contracting, and value analysis. That allows you to really outreach to the clinicians and also outreach upwards to the C-suite, because those groups have total buy-in from everybody, right? A well-organized group like that will have total buy-in and trust from their peers, and then you'll be able to kind of navigate throughout with them helping you and assisting you and pushing you through the system.